Thank you very much for joining us. To our first when the Amenfi by-election is currently ongoing, and let's try and get an update of the current situation in that constituency. Now, joining me over the telephone lines now is Benjamin Peters, our correspondent on this particular beat, and he has much more for us on this. So, Benjamin, tell us much more about the situation in Amenfi West now.
Yeah, just as I reported earlier on, fortunately, CAM has returned to the center where the unfortunate misunderstanding broke out between the electorate and the electoral officers. The whole thing started when the electoral officers found out that the voters register that they are going to use in the voting was missing from the item that has been brought to them. And upon their confrontation with their executive, it was revealed that those registers are rather mistakenly been taken to another polling center elsewhere. As a result, the electorate had to stand in the queue from 7 a.m. to 9:30 when the items were finally retrieved from that location to the Bremen JHS voting center before voting commenced. And this agitated most of the electors, which led to confrontation. But the unfortunate thing is, one side of them belonged to the opposition MPP, and the others belonged to the NDC, and they started blaming themselves. The MPP were blaming the NDC to be behind the unfortunate incident. They were saying because the area is termed to be the stronghold of the NDC, they are suspecting some foul play elsewhere in order for the NDC to have their way in the voting. So that resulted in the confrontation between the electorate. But fortunately, for the timely intervention of the police, calm has returned to the place and voting is going as I speak now.
Right. Thanks for that update. And we can now get a bit of that particular confusion that transpired earlier this morning at Amenfi West. Meanwhile, Joy News has also been speaking to the Director of Elections of the ruling National Democratic Congress, Samuel Ofusompofu, who is in the Amenfi West constituency to monitor the by-elections.
If it continues this way, I think it will be one of the peaceful by-elections that we've ever had. My only advice to the security agencies is to discourage these macho men in pickups moving around another. You see, that scene alone spark off controversies, because if you see this and other people also decide to go and mass up somewhere, then you have some challenges as far as security are concerned. I think that this is a very peaceful community, co-growing community, farmers, anybody that will go, the chief say that they want peace. So this is not a time to parade macho men and then try to intimidate people here and there. I think people should be given the freedom to go and exercise their franchise. At the end of the day, the results should be announced, and whoever wins the day, that will be victory for democracy. I am pretty sure and very optimistic that the people of America appreciate the developmental efforts by the government to address their social, economic challenges, and that is all what governance is about. Governance is about addressing the fair needs of the people, their road network, their electricity, their water requirements, and others. And so I believe that having put this in place, and contrary to the propaganda the MPP are waging that this has been done because of the by-election, the people themselves attest to the fact. And I was here in 2003 when we had a similar by-election here. And I kept on asking them, and they said that, look, when NDC came, we have seen remarkable progress in our lives, because there is development all over the place. New community schools, secondary schools are being built, water is being supplied.
Well, Deputy Employment Minister Baba Jamal has also been speaking to Joy News, and he believes that the NDC is going to beat the opposition NPP convincingly in this particular by-election.
Talking about who wins, you are talking about the margin. We beat them the last time with 9,000. We want to stretch it out. So it's not about who wins, it's about the margin. As for who wins, the people are grateful for what they have seen. They've seen asphalt, they've seen water, they've seen hospitals, they've seen schools. They are grateful, and they will go and show by their gratefulness by voting for us. And that's why we are looking at the margin, but not the winner. As for the winner, it's a settled matter. Very confident about that.
You're watching news today here on Joy News Multi TV. We're taking a break. We'll be back shortly with some more. Don't go away. Thank you very much for staying with us here on News Today. Now, a ceremony is currently underway to either confirm or reject Afrifa Yamoponko as Municipal Chief Executive for Ejisu in the Ashanti region. Yamoponko was appointed by the late John Evans Atamels as MCE on 29th May 2011 and sacked by President Mahama on July 5, 2015. Love FM's Prince Appear joins us over the telephone lines now with a lot more on this. So, Prince, tell us much more about this event, and so far, what has transpired?
Yeah, Jamie, I should say that this election has been very, very interesting, because before the MCE can be endorsed or rejected, they have to elect the presiding member first. And the presiding member election has been conducted 4 times. Today is the 4th time, and I tell you that each and every day that they undertake the elections, they don't get a presiding member. Early this morning, the last voting occurred, and between the two contestants, Ansasa Saku and then Michael Owusu. Ansasa Saku polled 32, Michael Owusu polled 33. And between the two, it is expected that the winner should get 2/3 of the votes. And because none of them had to test, they are supposed to vote again, get a presiding member before whether they endorse or reject Afrifa Yamoponko as the MCE is done. I should say that there is heavy security presence here. It's a surprising though, but armed security presence here. There are many, more than 20 of them, I can say for a fact. And then the regional minister is also here, and then Kojo Bonsu, who is the mayor of Kumasi, is also here. So that is what is happening here.
Any particular reason as to why such huge numbers as far as security is concerned?
Yeah, I'm putting my ears on the ground. What I hear is that previously some assembly members or some residents have, if I should say, they've cursed anybody who would vote for, who would endorse Afrifa Yamoponko. The reason is that most of them say they don't like his style of leadership, and that is what has been circulating among the few people that I've spoken to. So going around, if you try speaking to anybody, asking whether they are going to endorse the MCE Afrifa Yamoponko, what the only answer they give you is no answer. They will just tie to you, and that is what is going around here. So I suppose that is the reason why a lot of security persons have been brought here to ensure that nothing really go bad here.
Many thanks for that update, and that was Love FM's Prince Apia joining us live from the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi. From the Ashanti region, let's do some other stories. And the chairman of the Transport Committee of Parliament has expressed worry the Transport Ministry and agencies under it may not be able to achieve targets set out in the 2016 budget due to low budgetary allocation and a lack of critical staff. Now, moving the motion for the approval of the ministry's budget, Theophilus Tetechai said the Finance Ministry has refused to grant authorization for the recruitment of critical staff for agencies under it. Elton Brobe joins us with more from Parliament now. And Elton, if you can hear me, tell us much more about what the chairman of the Transport Committee has been saying.
Well, the House currently is in the process of, approving the budget estimate for the Ministry of Transport. Now, in the 2016 budget, government has allocated 126 million Ghana cedis for the activities of the Transport Ministry next year. Now, interestingly, there's about 35% short of how much the ministry got in 2015. 2015, the ministry has 351.6 million Ghana cedis, but going in 2016, the ministry is only giving 120, and this is a source of worry for the Transport Committee members. Now, moving the motion for the adoption of the committee's report, Tetechai, who is the chairman of the Transport Committee, said, among other issues, the Transport Ministry will engage itself in 2016 to the expansion and refurbishment of the international arrival hub of the International Airport. Also, they want to construct some southern apron, the upgrading of the Tamale Airport, works on the Wa Aerodrome, as well as the Volta region. Now, these are issues that require capital money to complete them. But unfortunately, looking at the budgetary allocation to the ministry, it will be impossible for them to see through all of these. He also made mention of the agencies under the ministry, like the Ghana Road Safety Commission, the DVLA. Now, according to Tetechai, the Ghana Railway Department needs technical staff, especially engineers, to support the Chief Executive Officer. But interestingly, the whole railway company has only one engineer in the authority, and this person also serving as the Chief Executive Officer of the railway company. For that reason, the Transport Ministry wrote to the Finance Ministry asking for authorization for them to engage critical staff to enable DVLA, the railway company, the Ghana Road Safety Commission to implement activities earmarked for the ministry in 2016. But unfortunately, the Finance Ministry has refused to give them that authorization. So even though they are going in 2016, the critical staff needed for effective implementation of the mission and aims of the ministry will be missing out, and that is being an issue that members of Parliament are calling on the Finance Ministry to, as a matter of urgency, respond to the demands of the Transport Ministry. Also, there's been talks about whether or not the winning of especially DVLA so that they can be on their own. Now, the danger that members of Parliament are raising is that if you allow them to pay for their own services, pay their staff salary without contributing to the consolidated fund, the tendency for them to increase prices without recourse to Parliament is something that government cannot control. But the Finance Minister, in his response, said that government is putting in place checks and balance to ensure that these agencies that will no longer benefit from government support will not charge or will not implement fees without consultation with Parliament. But the key issue here is that the Ministry of Transport, going in 2016, the budgetary allocation presented to the Finance Ministry, they got only 50% of it. Then this, for them, will not help them achieve the missions set out in 2016.
People, you are dead. I'm sure you won't come back as an MP.
Thanks for staying with us here on News Today. Now, 400 kilovolts of power is expected to be generated from the Lavender Hill Fecal Treatment Plant here in Accra. Project manager Florence Cobalt tells Joy News there's a long-term plan to commercialize the generation of biogas from the plant to be added on to the national electricity grid. MFI Wana Matiamwa Ali reports.
A week ago, Joy News first visited this site, and at the time it was just the first aerobic tank which was up. This morning we can see the second tank which is gradually coming up, showing that work is earnestly underway. I have with me the Project Manager Florence Cobbold, who will be giving us a little more information on the state of progress of work so far. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yeah, tell us, the concern has been how to power these plants to operate amid this energy crisis the country is experiencing. What is the long-term plan?
Well, one of the byproducts of this plant is to generate biogas, and we are hoping from the biogas we'll be able to generate electricity. We are expecting to generate about 7,000 cubic biogas, and this will be able to generate 400 kVA of power, and this power is supposed to power the entire plant. If after the plant we start the processes and there's excess, then we will think of selling it to ECG to get it on the national grid.
Well, I'm still talking about power, and the Africa Center for Energy Policy has been reacting to that particular release by government, the Power Ministry, on the accusations leveled against government as to the fact that some of these things have actually been bloated. We're told that the money was bloated. But joining me now in studio with much more on this is Kwabena Mprechum. He joins me now with the very latest on that. So, Kwabena, you have a lot more updates on this particular one. ASEP has also been responding to the response provided by government.
You know, earlier accusations were leveled against the government on this whole contract, and they responded with a statement from the Power Ministry. Now, ASEP has been picking that statement, and they have issued another statement based on what the government has said, and detailed responses to some of the answers that the government sought to put out. For example, they're saying that Ameri is a build and operate transfer, and so it is not an outright purchase. That's what government is saying. They are saying it's build, operate, and transfer. But then ASAP is saying the monthly fees, including leasing and payment charges for the turbines over a 5-year period, that is, government is going to pay
that particular
amount. It is included in what is going to be paid the Ameri people. So although no money is being paid upfront, Ghana will eventually pay for the equipment within a 5-year period, and the cost will constitute the cost of procuring the turbines. And in any case, ASAP is questioning why a $220 million project comes to 510 when you spread it over 5 years, excluding operations and management cost. Also, ASAP takes a look at this response given by government. It says the government has not made any payment to Ameri and will not be making payments for the cost of the equipment. Now, this is what government told us. ASAP is saying that it is erroneous. They've actually described this as erroneous, saying it is clear no payment has been made to Ameri so far, but VRA will be making payments per the contract. And this will constitute payment for the turbines, as I've earlier said. Now, from ASAP's own calculations, Ghana will be paying about $850,000 per turbine per month. And that amounts to about $8.5 million for the 10 turbines. And there are also about $16.6 million in what they call variable cost. And so looking at it, it looks like what government is putting out there, according to ASAP, is not a true picture. One other thing that government is also putting out there is Ghana will only pay for the power as all the IPPs. I mean, you provide us the power, we pay for only the power and nothing else. Now, ASAP is saying that no, this is not a classical IPP arrangement. VRA is paying for the equipment and will own it after 5 years. And so a typical IPP arrangement, the plant has a lifespan of about 20 years. And so it is wondering how come after only 5 years, they are going to give it to government. So what they are saying is Ameri is not a charity organization for them to produce power for you only, and then they give you the whole plant
after 5 years.
And mind you, Ghana will be paying for the fuel as well. So if these people are coming in to give us power, okay, and we pay for only the cost, why are we paying for fuel? Why are we paying for operational management? And that is what ASAP is putting out there. Those are the questions and answers ASAP is providing to what the
so essentially this statement from ASAP seeks to disprove all the things that government earlier came out with.
And it is actually putting out one of the government's own statements as something, a contradiction of what it earlier said. And it says, government has said that Ghana will assume eventual ownership of the equipment after 5 years, okay? So if you will assume, looking at the cost of the equipment, $220 million, if you are going to assume ownership of that after 5 years, you can't possibly get that from the provision of fuel alone and you paying for it.
Exactly.
And so that means there's a cost factor in there, and we are paying a cost factor to Ameri on a monthly basis. And ASAP is arguing that cost, that amount of money we are paying, includes paying for the equipment, and so eventually Ghana will pay for the equipment.
You're still paying for it?
Yes, we will.
As to whether it's really value for money, I'm sure that's another question for another day. Right, many thanks for that update, and that was Kobna Ampechu, my colleague right here at Joy News. Now, away from that, and keep 3 points. The Western regional town at the heart of Ghana's oil industry has little to show for its enviable geography. Now, they have held on to frail hope for change since 2007 when Ghana first discovered oil. Now, as Ghana marks 5 years of first oil this week, Joy News' Justice Beidou spent time in the community. Now, in the first of a 5-part series, he describes how poor education inevitably leads to poor people.
It's a do-it-yourself thing on a Monday morning. Pupils of Cape 3 Point Primary School pushed to the edge. Stories of children learning under trees with no chairs to sit on and teachers to teach is common in Ghana, but that of Cape 3 Point is rather interesting. It's 10 o'clock on a Monday morning and teachers are yet to arrive for these children. It's only because most of these teachers live far outside this community and would have to commute for about 25 kilometers to get here every Monday morning. It's a dark room with very little ventilation. But what this camera wouldn't tell you though is just the amount of heat these children would learn in every single day.
Yeah, it's difficult because we are facing a lot of challenges in this community. The students, some of them don't like coming to school. And even their parents too, when they complain that time, they say that they are not having money to pay even the extra classes, 30 pesos. And even for the person to get money to come to school is difficult. So at times, we the masters have to go around and give maybe some of the kids money before coming to school. Even it's horrible because in this place, they are not having anybody that they are going to say that this man is my role model or this lady is my role model. No, they are not having. So always they thought that their fathers always let me explain this one tree. I must say I'm quite poor. Fishing, go and fish. So the small money that they get, they used to cater the family. So the juniors, the kids do things that they too, when they grow up, they will go and fishing. Their future, I cannot determine their future because I'm not God.
Town, the epicenter of Ghana's oil wealth, like many such coastal towns, is still desperately poor 5 years into commercial oil production.
And we'll bring you that full report subsequently in other broadcasts. But we're now taking a break here on News Today. We'll be back shortly with business. So time for business, and here is Emmanuel with the very latest. Hi, Ima.
Hi, thanks.
Yes, and you did promise you were going to join us at midday.
Yes,
promise and
certainly,
deliver.
Certainly.
Right.
I'm going to deliver certainly. And in business this afternoon, it looks like the prevailing Harmattan condition is not only dealing a heavy blow to the aviation industry, but also to the agri sector. And it's really threatening the outputs of cocoa in next year.
That's right. Serious.
This is indeed very
I'm sure you give us details pretty shortly.
All right, so there appears to be fresh uncertainty among market players about the prospects of cocoa production this crop season, despite a strong start. This has been prompted by the onset of Harmattan winds, which analysts fear would adversely affect output. More in this report. All right, so we'll bring to you that story later on in the course of the news. Now, concerns have recently been raised about the spate of management programs being run instead of technical programs because of the potential to further widen the skills gap for industry. Many have attributed this to the lack of interest in science-related subjects, among other things. In a bid to address this, Airtel Ghana has partnered the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG, to promote science, technology, engineering and mathematics, STEM, at the basic level. Chief Executive Officer of Airtel Ghana, Lucy Quist, explains to Joy Business the initiative is timely. Now moving on, the Ghana Revenue Authority GRA says it has already exceeded its revenue target for this year. According to the Commissioner General George Blankson, revenue figures recorded between January and November indicates the target has already been exceeded by 2 percentage points.
The Ghana Revenue Authority GRA was to raise some 22 billion Ghana cedis in revenue for government in 2015. It had earlier expressed fears of not meeting this target due to the June 3 flood disaster that affected many businesses. But the Commissioner General George Blankson has revealed to Joy Business the target has been exceeded even before the figures for December are computed.
The month of December revenue figures are yet to come in. But we can tell you for sure that for the 11 months of the year up to end November, the GRA had met its revenue target. For specifics, we need to go into the books and give you the figures. But I can give you that assurance that at least we are 2 percentage points above the programmed collection for the 11 months.
Mr. Blankson spoke to Joy Business after the GRA donated some equipment to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. He commended the EOCO for its significant role in the GRA's feat.
Because of the partnership with EOCO, we have managed to recover a lot more debts than we used to do in the past. And we have also seen, and you will know, that the task force that has been going around has also been supported by EOCO, making it easier to interact with recalcitrant taxpayers and recovering revenues from them.
Expressing his appreciation for the gesture, EOCO also reiterated its commitment to do more in the GRA's revenue mobilization efforts.
We can only say we assure GRA, for that matter the nation, that we will not relent in our efforts to support in this collaboration. Because we believe that sharing of information, partnership in these times of serious crimes is the only means of actually demonstrating efforts at suppressing crime of any form. We cannot stand alone. EOCO also need partners. We cannot say that we alone supported them. We also believe that whatever we are doing with them has opened our eyes to some areas of interest for us.
Meanwhile, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, says it has been able to track over 120,000 unregistered taxpayers across the country. Acting Director of EOCO, Justice A.Y. Cha, tells Joy Business his outfit is still gathering more data on taxpayers who are unregistered and are therefore evading tax.
The raw data itself has to be properly analyzed. People are also protesting. People think that they have already registered. So there are a lot of things to be done with the data. But I can say on record, on authority, that we have 120 and more. And people...
20,000?
Yes, countrywide. Those who we think should have been registered, they have not been registered. They are all over the place. And we've brought them on board. But we have been giving it to them in pieces, depending on the levels of process and their needs. And that record is also not, it's useful for other purposes. It's useful for statistical services also. It may be useful. So it's a big database we are creating. It's useful for us also in tracing people who may be of interest to our core mandate of investigation.
And that's it by way of business on News Today. Thanks for your company. Chen Hine will come your way again with more news updates. Good afternoon.
So it's time for sports, and Benedict also joins me now in studio. Hi, Benedict.
Hi, Chen. What's happening to Chelsea? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't know. I'm a Man U fan. I must tell you that
you don't care.
I'm actually ecstatic about this.
Okay, you're excited. All right.
All
right, you leave it there. Jose Mourinho, you know, has said something about his team's performance, and we'll hear from him. But first, Juventus midfielder Kudus Asamoah insists he's not injured despite being left out of the Juventus squad last Sunday. Now, Asamoah, who can also play at wing back, has made just 10 Serie A appearances across the last 2 seasons as he struggled with a series of injuries. Asamoah was not included in the Bianconeri squad for the win over Fiorentina at the weekend, leading to speculation he had relapsed. Now, but the 26-year-old says he's fit. He spoke to GhanaSoccerNet.com.
I am feeling very good. I have been training very well with my teammates. I am not injured. I just finished another training session with my club, and it went really well.
I don't know the reason why. And even if my team will be the first to confirm.
My team Juventus would have been the first to confirm if indeed I have picked up a new injury. So everything is okay with me.
There's nothing until everything is okay.
One of the Division 1 League Board of Wahine champion has exclusively told Joy Sports he's having sleepless nights over pending cases involving some Division 1 clubs. Now, the Ghana FA is yet to officially confirm winners of Zone 1 and Zone 3 to pave way for next season's Premier League to start. Tema Youth, after losing their protest against Dreams FC, are in cast now, with Ichiman City having their alleged match-fixing case revert to the newly constituted Ethics Committee. Wahine champion says he is stressed and hopes all these issues will be sorted out for the league to start.
I'm worried to the extent that I'm stressed. It stresses me so much because I've been speaking on other platforms in relation to what is happening. I also mentioned in my speech tonight the fact that the GFA had done some amendments to its regulations. And in Article 3710A, says that after all teams have submitted their statement, the disciplinary committee is given 5 days to deliver their judgments.
So that's it.
So that was a rather sober.
The special one for you. That was the special one.
He has been deflated.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. And yes, I might probably have a new favorite team. You never know. Leicester City is doing so well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Leicester. You know, I'm so happy with the work that Ranieri is doing. You know, he was a former Chelsea manager. He did very well at Chelsea. He went away. He came back. And he's doing wonders with Leicester City. I hope they can win the Premier League, but it will be very difficult.
Let's see how it goes. I know Liverpool yourself, you have issues, but yeah. Well, it's time for entertainment, and Rebecca Dark will be bringing that to you shortly. But just before that, the Greater Accra Regional Police Command is promising to dispatch its work with the utmost level of professionalism before, during, and after the 2016 general elections, as this morning spelled out measures implemented to ensure peace in the country. Regional Police Commander Dr. George Dampari disclosed this during his first interaction with the media after his appointment. Beatrice Edu was there and now reports.
The police shall continue to ensure that there is law and order before, during, and after the elections. And I want also, therefore, to take this opportunity to assure all that the Regional Police Command will be resolute, objective, and professional in the discharge of our duties throughout the entire election period and beyond. Indeed, the Regional Command is in the process of finalizing its security arrangements for the whole of the election process, and we shall use the whole of January 2016 to engage all stakeholders, including all political parties, the Electoral Commission, religious bodies, civil society organizations, the media, and all, to get their input into our overall regional election security plan. I must also say that the engagement process with these stakeholders shall be a dynamic one, such that at a point that we'll prepare the plan, if in the course of time anything of significance has come, that border on security, that need to come to our attention, that continuous engagement with these stakeholders will bring it to bear for us to modify our plan to ensure that we are able to deliver a peaceful and secure environment for the whole election process to go on smoothly. We therefore want to urge all stakeholders to take advantage of this initiative and support the police to create the environment, the peaceful environment for the whole election process to go on successfully. At this point also, let me also assure you that it is the duty of all other stakeholders to play their role as enshrined in our relevant laws before.
Okay, so we can now do entertainment. Here's Rebecca Dako. Hi, Becky.
Hello.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I've been doing LT.
I see. Right. So, what do we have in entertainment today?
Socrates Safo, and Socrates Safo is a film producer, and he has been reacting to Tiny's assertion that he is in trouble, and that Socrates is advising Tiny to grow up. Yeah.
That boy needs education. When he grows up, he will understand that I've given him the best advice and make a better person out of him. I know that whenever he goes to bed, he thinks about whatever I've told him or I told him. And the woman who he's also mismanaging will also advise him that, hey, it's about time you protect yourself. I'm not saying he should stop sleeping with women. I can't stop him. But at least education teaches us that, look, you need to protect yourself. Unwanted pregnancy, how do you come out and give birth to plenty children like that, about 15 children at your age? How do you concentrate on doing good music? But at least even the song that he came out with to diss me is better than the song that he even brought up for judgment. It's up to the public to judge. If he says he's suing me, fine. But I have already sued him. Yeah, for insulting me and my wife.
So musician Echo Micah starts a foundation to clean cells and prisons in the country. Let's hear him.
It's just because the experience that I went through at the cell, okay, and not my experience alone, but other experiences, people coming in the cells who, are innocent, but they were going through same pain, okay. Other people being there, like a gentleman just asked a question. There are people whose cases maybe the doctors are even mixing, so they've been just dumping the place, okay. Now there are people who might fight, or like the gentleman just said, you get in there, there are people there who said they are the cell leaders, and they torture you. They torture you, and you are in there. No policeman knows about it. So, no card is being given to you to go to hospital or whatever. So you'll be there in the pain or whatever it is, you'll be there. And what happens to you, if you become strengthful, that's okay. Okay, so these are some of the things. These are the main visions that I had.
He has also been speaking about whether or not he smokes.
Honestly, no comment on this. No comment. I hold no comment on this because my issue with the state was not like Kokese gone to smoke and was arrested for smoking. Do you understand me? They said they found me at possession, and I stood tall and went through all the trial with the state, and at the end of the day, God did prove my innocence.
Yeah.
Do you smoke?
Do I smoke? No, I can't smoke. I mean, it's illegal in Ghana to even use Indian hemp and all, but I do believe a lot of people use Indian hemp.
Yeah,
for your hair, I'm sure.
Yeah, for the.
I see.
Yeah.
So you use it.
Kind
Interesting. Interesting. Well, but that was Rebecca Dako. But keep bringing us the very latest in entertainment. And that's how we wrap up news today here on Joy News Multi TV. My name is Kwabena Chenchenhene Boating. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Enjoy the rest of our broadcast.